What do you know not to mess with due to experience? I learned about electricity the hardest way possible when I was 12 years old. My grandparents owned this small farm outside town, and I spent every summer there running around their property. The place had these old red barns, chickens pecking in the dirt, and this ancient generator in the back barn that kept the lights running during storms. My grandpa was always super strict about one thing. "Leo, don't you ever touch that generator," he'd say every single time we walked past it. "That thing's dangerous. You don't understand electricity yet." He'd point at the rusty metal box with all these switches and wires coming out of it. One wrong move and you could kill yourself. But I was 12. I thought I knew everything. I'd watch him flip the switches when the power went out, and it looked so simple. Just flip this, turn that, pull the cord. How hard could it be? One hot afternoon in July, my grandparents were out back tending to the vegetable garden. I was supposed to be feeding the chickens, but I kept staring at that barn. The generator was just sitting there calling to me. I figured if I could get it running on my own, maybe Grandpa would finally see I wasn't just some little kid anymore. I snuck into the barn. It smelled like motor oil and hay. The generator sat in the corner, covered in dust and rust stains. There were maybe 6 different switches on the front panel, and this thick black cord hanging off the side. I'd watched Grandpa do this routine dozens of times. First switch, nothing happened. Second switch, I heard a little click. Third switch, and suddenly there was this low humming sound coming from inside the machine. My heart started racing because I was actually doing it. I was proving I could handle grown-up stuff. Then I pulled the cord. The whole world exploded. Sparks shot out of the generator like fireworks, but scary ones. This loud popping sound echoed through the barn, way louder than anything I'd ever heard. All the lights in the barn went out instantly. Then smoke started pouring out of the machine, thick black smoke that made my eyes water. I couldn't breathe. The smoke was everywhere, burning my throat and making me cough so hard I thought I was going to throw up. I ran outside as fast as I could, gasping for air, and that's when I saw the real problem. Orange flames were starting to lick out of the generator. Not big ones yet, but definitely fire. Real fire that was going to spread to all that hay stacked up everywhere. I started screaming for my grandparents. They came running from the garden, my grandpa moving faster than I'd ever seen him move. He grabbed this red fire extinguisher from the side of the barn and rushed inside. White foam started spraying everywhere, and after what felt like forever, the flames went out. When he came back outside, his face was completely pale. He wasn't yelling at me, which somehow made it worse. He just looked at me with these sad, scared eyes and said, "Leo, you could have burned down everything. The whole farm, all the animals, everything your grandma and I built for 40 years. That's when I started crying. Not because I was in trouble, but because I finally understood what I'd almost destroyed. Their house, the barn where they kept all their tools, the chicken coop, everything. All because I wanted to prove I was smart enough to flip some switches." That night after dinner, Grandpa sat me down at the kitchen table. He brought out this old electrical manual and started explaining exactly how electricity worked, how it travels through wires, how much power that generator actually put out, how one wrong connection could stop your heart instantly. "Curiosity is good, Leo," he said, pointing at diagrams of electrical circuits. "But some things will kill you before you get a chance to learn from your mistake. Electricity is one of them. You only get one mistake with stuff like this." He showed me pictures of electrical burns, told me stories about people who died touching the wrong wire, not to scare me, but to make sure I understood what I'd been playing with. From that day forward, I never touched anything electrical that I didn't completely understand. When I got my first apartment, I called an electrician to change a light fixture instead of trying it myself. When my car battery died, I got it professionally replaced instead of trying to jump it.